This is special. It's like an old road. She doesn't want to be filmed, so the only thing she does is the kawaii face or whatever it's called. Every time I point the camera at her. I think there's a floor right there. As you can tell, I'm back on Crete. And this time around I brought Hilda. There we go. But yeah, I'm actually on vacation this time around. The idea is to film a little bit, but not the same thing I did back in June. I'm going to try and make a daily vlog. That is not happening. I'm here to kind of rest, charge my batteries for the rest of the year, because it's going to be an important year. The next 10 months are going to be either the rise or the fall. Yeah, so next time I'm here, you should know. That's kind of scary, isn't it? But anyways, as I said in my previous video, I want to kind of get a little more personal in my videos. Wait, you need to see this. She's laughing with me and using her bottle of water as a camera to kind of mimic what I'm doing. Sometimes she's like a little kid. I don't know what happened. I think her mother dropped her on her head or something when she was really young, but that's why I love her. So now I wanted to get a little more personal, and in this video I kind of want to share some things that I'm working on, because content creation is, for the bigger part, is like well, for a big part, I'm not going to say the bigger part, is a personal battle with your inner critical kind of voice, you know? It's a job that requires you to be a lot inside, to kind of be working alone, to be talking to people that are just texts and usernames. I'm trying to tell a very personal story here, and this is what is happening. I told her I'm going to record the intro for my video, and she was coming along, but I didn't know what to troll me. Oh God, what do I do? And people ask me why I come by myself in June. This is why. Okay, you fixed it. Now she's angry, she's gone. She'll get over it. As I was saying, it's a lonely job, so it brings a few psychological challenges with it, and there's a few things that I kind of listed for myself that I need to do. And for one, these are personal kind of things that I do. So this is not like, you need to do this. Maybe it will help you, maybe it's not relevant to you. And second, to be honest, I fail at it pretty often. It's something I'm working on still to try and get solved and done. But you know, bless you. I'm still kind of working on doing all of them, all of these tips that I'm going to give, all of these things I'm trying to do to work on my mental health and to make me stronger to deal with the daily challenges of running a business and running this business specifically. So I'm going to talk about all these ideas, tips and things I do somewhere throughout the coming days all over the island, so the view kind of changes. And let me know at the end if there's anything useful for you, what you do. But let's get started. I cannot get tired of this view. That was most likely a bit of a familiar view. A very nice view to wake up to. So the first item on the list might be a little controversial. I think some people will not agree with me, but it is, as I said at the start, a personal thing. Things that work for me. And it is the fact that I kind of tend to ignore general news. I have how do you say that? A grasp of everything that is going on, definitely. It's almost inevitable at this point. But I don't watch the news, I don't listen to the news. Like when the news comes on in the car, I just switch to my phone or to listen to music or just turn on the volume so I can't hear it, because it just pisses me off every single time. It makes me feel powerless, like frustrated. There's so much going on in the world right now, and there's nothing that I can do. At least that's the way it feels. I do admire the people that kind of work against that feeling and try to make a difference in their own way, no matter how small. I'm definitely not downplaying what some people can do, but for me personally, it just was starting to weigh on my general mental health by just being up to date to everything that is happening and by following the news and knowing how fucked we are, basically. And in a way, that is kind of a result of all this media and social media and everything being so fast right now. If anything happens on the other side of the world, we'll know about it instantly. To give an example, when I'm recording this, it's the day after the shooting, another school shooting in the States, near Atlanta. We heard about it instantly, which is insane. I'm in freaking Greece. But yeah. And that starts to weigh on people in general. The fact that you know every little bit of misery that happens with billions of people. So, I decided to not partake in that anymore and to kind of exclude myself from that whole vortex of misery and bad news. And because, to be fair, I think a lot of the media are just as guilty as some content creators in creating drama or kind of highlighting things that they think will get more views and that keep people scared enough to tune into their whatever source they are. All these companies love to abuse that, much like some content creators do. Okay, but that was number one. Now the thing is, like I said, I do kind of get things coming through, and that is usually through social media, through TikTok, through tweets that people send out to cry out about something that happened, and that is actually kind of tie me in to number two. I'm actively trying to lower my dopamine intake, which is, for the biggest part, social media. First, I'm going to get some breakfast. Oh shit, the boss is there. What is that t-shirt you're wearing?
It's a Deemzies t-shirt.
Looks like everybody just abandoned the beach because we arrived. I think there's floaties everywhere. There's umbrellas, there's even some beach towels. But there's not a single person, not even in the water. We scared everybody away. I think she did. That face will scare you. This is weird. That is a beautiful stick. That transformation to Gandalf is almost complete. I really like my stick. I don't know what it is. I think it's that part primate that is still in us. Or maybe we're partly dog, but yeah. I think all men can understand if you find a nice stick, you hold on to it. But anyways, as I was saying, the dopamine stuff. Look, I'm just as guilty as anybody else in this day and age where you find yourself swiping on TikTok endlessly. And as a content creator, I kind of use that behavior of people to make money in a way. I personally try to, bring relevant content, but sometimes you just you run into the most silly stuff. But that's not healthy in a way, especially not if you're doing it right before you go to sleep. Because that's the worst time to do that. But just in general, try to lay off a little bit. I'm actually thinking about deleting my Twitter accounts because for many reasons. I just think social media in general has really fallen off. Like when I started the Omnic post 8 years ago, it was still a very different medium and I tried to do something different within that space, but now it's just such a toxic environment where the companies that run those platforms are just trying to get you for every single dollar. Just using dark patterns all over the place. All of them. Like, I think for me personally, the best platform is still YouTube. And all the others piss me off at a regular basis. And that's not healthy either. That is not helping with my mental health. So I've really been thinking of deleting Twitter. I've not been posting on Facebook for a while now. Just sticking with Instagram Threads, which seems to be working okay. And TikTok, YouTube. And just for myself, kind of limit the time I spend. Especially just before I go to bed or before I plan to fall asleep. Which brings me to the next point on my list, sleep. Yeah, it's an important one. A difficult one. Getting a lot of sleep is important. Enough. Like, that is one of the most difficult things for me to kind of keep track of. I'm most productive late at night. I'm not a morning person. But yeah, if you go to bed like at 3 in the morning and get up at 9 or 10, you didn't get enough sleep. So throughout the day, you just get tired, and trust me, I like the occasional nap, the power nap, but you need to start at somewhere healthy, and that is something I need to work on, is make sure I get to bed in time so I can wake up in the morning, and especially since I want to do those morning streams again before I start working, so that is going to be important. And you know what the thing is? Over here, you wake up, you got a view like this. Let me show you. This is what you see through the curtain. Way easier to wake up that way than at home, where it's always raining. The next thing that is really important that I need to work on is eating healthier. This is one of my favorite food groups, fruits. I love eating fruit, and like the fruit here in Crete is amazing. Like this is a peach. I have an apple the size of a human head in the fridge. But sadly, those are the few healthy things that I eat.
Having an apple for those.
That is definitely going in the video. Most of the time I'm just kind of heating up food and ordering something out or eating really fast. That is also a problem. And that is also kind of the reason, or that at least impacts my mental health. Something I need to work on. Eat healthier. More fruit would be nice, but yeah, also other stuff. And drink a lot of water. I prefer sparkling water. So, you got sleep. We got food. And the next thing is exercise. That is a big topic. Yeah. There's so many statues here. Look at that. Just ordered a banana split. Look at that. They could make a lot of mojitos with this tree. But anyways, the whole job of a content creator is basically sitting down almost all of the day. You're streaming, you're recording videos, you're editing videos, especially as a gaming creator. So, and I should be moving more. Hilda is demonstrating what moving is. There's a reason why all these content creators all go to the gym and they look like gym rats and they kind of It is a job that doesn't require you to do a lot of moving, so it becomes unhealthy when your body's not healthy, your mind is not healthy, and the other way around. It works in two ways. You need to find a way to kind of exercise. That is one of my main goals for when I get back to Belgium, is get in physical health. Down here I get a lot of movement. I'm always walking around, climbing stairs, climbing hills. That's not creepy at all. I don't know if it's creepy or cute. But one of my favorite things to do, which is kind of ironical because I suck at it really bad, is swimming, especially here in Greece. The thing is, I'm the worst swimmer ever. So what I'm basically doing is walking in the water and just looking at fish with my diving goggles, kind of floating around, looking at the small fish that are around here. Something else I also find very easy to do when I'm here in Crete, there's a lot less when I'm back at home, is getting out of my house, in this case the hotel room, and just venturing out in the world. Like I said before, that's because there's so much to do, so much to see, and when I'm home I'm always spending every single day cooped up in the house, working in my office space, in my studio, filming, recording, streaming, all that stuff. And I try to kind of venture out into the city because I live in a beautiful city, as you have seen plenty of times in my videos. But I always find an excuse not to do it, which is kind of sad. They do a lot of these cruises around here, as you can see. One of my friends actually does one too. I've talked about this in the previous video, so I'm not going to repeat myself, but you know, Marisut, look for them if you're ever around in the neighborhood. I'm being followed by a van that drives backwards. There's a really expensive looking yacht right there. It's been there since the start of our trip. It looks very snazzy. More modern than any of the other boats. I love coming here to the harbor and just overlooking the whole town. And all of the paintings on the wall. We get a reverse look of the view that we have from our room. I'm trying to pinpoint where our room is, but I think it's right here. In this video we were talking about the things I do for my mental health, and I'm not going to stay out in the sun too long. I don't know if that is a good idea. So I'm going to try and go over this next one a little faster. One of the things I've learned to do over the years, especially in the last year, is making lists of everything that I need to do and kind of arranging that list according to how important they are and how much impact they will have on the future of the endeavor. And on one side that sounds very boring and technical, but it definitely helps to kind of ease my mind. Once it's on paper, I know I won't forget about it, because that is the thing that causes me the most stress, is everything that I want to do, which is a lot. I mean, I have plans for the next 20 years, 30 years, for the rest of my life, things I want to do, but even on a shorter term, I have all these things that I need to do, I want to do. And then if I don't put them on paper, it just becomes this kind of thing that I need to remember. That becomes a task by itself. That's not healthy. So I learned to write it all down and kind of order it and have this whole system that I have figured out. And I think everybody needs their own system. They need to figure something out that works for themselves. So that's very practical. The second thing I do is even more important for my mental health. And that is something I learned from other people that told me over and over again that I needed to do that was going to help me, that keep buying me gifts that would motivate that kind of behavior. And that is actually mindfulness, kind of at the start of your day, taking inventory of what you're grateful for, what you think to achieve in that day, and then at the end of the day, what went well, and how you feel about that day in general. And that can come in very different forms and ways and formulas and books, and there's different ways of doing that, but the gist of it all is basically starting out your day with something positive, something you're thankful for, kind of reflecting on your life and who you are, what you're doing, and forcing you to look to the positive. Because, the general question, how you're doing, how you're feeling, often gets a positive answer, but it's hollow. It means nothing. How you doing? I'm doing okay. And that's about it. But if you start talking to people and asking them, but no, really, how are you? The first thing that will come out is like, well, and negative stuff will come up. Not for everybody, not every time, but pretty often. If you force yourself to kind of think, okay, sure. I got a finger caught between the car door yesterday. I chipped a piece of my tooth. Whatever. If you start thinking about the things that went well the previous day and what you're thankful for in general, you'll kind of start out your day with, it ain't all that bad. There's something. And if you do that every single day, it will actually kind of become this thing. I mean, that sounds really kind of spiritual and fluffy, and which is not my style. But there's some truth to it. If you have a positive mindset, good things will happen. And the last but one I had on the list is accept help. That was a really difficult one. Still is for me personally. But first I'm going to go for a swim. Another one. It's 34 degrees Celsius, seriously. I can use it. This is the place where I feel the most in Crete, so to speak. And they say the most at home, well, on the beach. This is the view that I've been seeing for the last 25 years since I've been coming here, and it doesn't change for one. It still looks very similar than it did all those years ago. A little more restaurants, a little more bars, whatever. But above all, it's just, this is going to sound weird, the peace and quiet. I don't know if you guys can hear the kids screaming and whatnot and the people screaming at each other, but this is just a home. It just feels so good when I'm floating around here. Without a doubt, the most horrible swimmer in human history, but I have the advantage that I'm tall, so. And right there is the little monkey, the little gremlin coming, swimming her way over here. But yeah, number 9 was do not be afraid to ask for help. I have some amazing people helping me out on all my content. Like for instance, now while I'm traveling, they are basically doing the posts on the Omnic post. They're keeping an eye on all the Overwatch news and doing the posts. And there's Scope of Frozen, Will, Spicy. They all do an amazing job. I have Peter, I have Coffee helping me with the edits for my channels and the videos. And still, it is very difficult for me to allow people to help me, because I have my ways in which I'm very set, have my idea of how I want things to be, but slowly I'm learning that the influence of other people is actually a good thing, and it helps growing whatever you are building. She's doing her old lady swimming gag. Ja, je kan niet. Je kan niet. Kala. Zie? Ja. Addio. Saleme. And to be honest, I need more help. I need a lot more help if I want to make this work. And I'm slowly starting to realize that, trying to see in my budget how I can do that, how I can reward people for the help that they give me. But yeah, that's just on the professional level. Also on the personal level, talk to friends, talk to family, allow them to your journey, allow them in your bubble, share your worries, and if it's too much, talk to a therapist. There's still a bit of a stigma tied into that, but when you are talking to a therapist, you're basically failing at life, and that's bullshit. Now, to be completely honest, I don't talk to a therapist. I know a lot of people that do in my close environment, and they all benefit really well from that, and I know that at some point I'll have to do it myself too. Don't ask me why I'm pushing that forward and why I'm not doing it. I'm talking about it on a video. But yeah, that should be one of my goals. It's going to be one of my goals for the next few weeks, is to figure that out, because it's going to help me. So yeah, number 9, allow help. And then the last one on the list is actually a very important one, especially for me personally. And that is not to compare yourself to others. But I'll talk more about that later. We're going to enjoy the rest of our swim. The sun is setting, as you can see. The water is very good. There is a small turd floating around in the water. I'm going to have to remove that with a scoop. But after that we're going to go eat, and then I'll close down this video with the final point on my list. I think this is going to be a long video, but that's the way it has to be. I almost look like a pirate boat captain when I'm standing next to a lamp like this. But it's 2 in the morning, so yeah. And I usually stand over there at a different light, but let me show you. Kitty cat is sleeping next to it. Mm-hmm. This kind of works. It's a little bright, maybe. But it's fine. I'll fix it in post. So the last thing I wanted to talk about is not to compare yourself to others. Let me change to another light. I don't know if it's going to be better. It might be a little dark now, but anyways. Not too long ago I saw this interview with John Cena, the wrestler. And he talked about his pocket watch. He had a special pocket watch that on one end had a message that basically said, like, remember where you come from. Like, remember what your roots are. And especially remember the people that help you to get where you are right now. And on the other side, it said, comparison is the killer of all joy. And I think that is a very beautiful message. Because, like I said, I often find myself comparing my numbers to those of other people, or just in general, you know. It's not necessarily that I'm envious. It's just another way of doubting myself. And I'm kind of putting myself down. Something I'll be talking about in the next video. The imposter syndrome. It's just like, see, you're not doing well, you're not good enough. You suck. That's why your numbers are not as good as that person that is actually running a channel that is similar to yours. Which doesn't make any sense. You need to do your own thing, and, you know, you're writing your own story. And that will come with a different arc, that will come with different numbers, that will come with different results. In the end, you'll get there. In your own way. It's not about being bigger, smaller. It's about being yourself. Oh my god. I should make a t-shirt out of that. But those were the 10 things I want to work at in the next few months. That I've been working at for quite a while on some parts. To kind of help me with my own mental health and the challenges that are ahead of me. To tackle them. And I hope that some of you will recognize yourself in those things, those issues that I'm fighting. And that some of my solutions might work for you. Like I said, I'm not a therapist. I'm just doing my thing and listening to other people talk about it and trying out solutions. And sometimes it works and other times it doesn't. But that's okay. Everybody has their own unique solution because every problem is unique in its own way. But that was it for this video. If you guys enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, take care of yourself, take care of each other. Kalinichta. Bye.